Hello everyone and welcome back to our Hills and Dales. Well, as you can see, I've worked a little bit here. I've got my first and second block of the second row going down the quilt this way. I have connected them on the back, put my sashing in there, and now I'm going to connect them across the top and add sashing there. So I'm thinking that, let's see, I had cut these two pieces to audition them. I thought this might give me a little splash of color right at this section. I don't know what I will run inside of that yet. Let me see what I might have here. I have some of this. Let me see if that will work. It's kind of more of a neutral, and I'll tone down the color a little bit. Let's see. Get it cut. It doesn't tear very well. So I'll cut it into a strip. That might look pretty good. That might look pretty good. Or I might could do it that way and that way. I like it that way better. So, and you know what? It's just almost perfect length. Let's do here to here. And then we will have here to there. I think that'll work, don't you? Give us a little bit two different looks. Okay. All right, we've got that one ready to go. We've got this one ready to go. We need to get these two together, and I thought I would do that with you. And again, so that you can see how I do this again. These are going to fit nicely. Line up your center part right there. Line up your center seam and let the edges fall, because we can adjust as we go should we need to. Okay, let's see. Let's get a longer piece of thread on here than that. I thought I had, here we saw. It's a nice long piece of purple. You can see purple pretty good. Let's see. I'm thinking I need to split this, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Didn't like the way I split that one. You know, these threads have a mind of their own, and they let you know it. Okay. Testing the quilt size on my husband for the lap-sized quilt that he felt comfortable with. It's going to be a little smaller than I originally thought. It's still going to be between 34 and 36 inches wide, but not 54 inches long. He liked it more. I think it was, oh my goodness, what was it? 40, right around 44, I think. I'll have to get that for sure. But so that means that this quilt, instead of having 9 rows down, we'll have 8. 4 to 6 to 8 is 48. About 8 rows. We'll see how it works out. It might end up with 7, but it's going to be 6 across, but I believe it's going to be 8 down. So. All right, let's get our little skewer here, our friend. Let's start in the center here and work out just so we keep our center seam straight. My little swollen fingers this morning, they do not want to cooperate. You can go through all layers as long as you stay within the coverage area of your thing on the other side, your sashing. So you could probably get a 1/4 inch. We'll just keep going down the left. I'm going through the sashing right now, so it's a little bit thicker there. Get my thing lined back up. I couldn't do this without the skewer. I just don't know how people do it flat without something to lift their needle. Just like the strips and strings quilt, if you have sections where you're putting your sections together and you end up with a big gap to keep it straight, then come in and reinforce it from the back side with a strip of batting over it and sew it down so that you keep your seams strong. Even though we're putting a sashing on the other side, which is another strengthener for these seams, like this one's going together well. It's not going to need anything, but sometimes you can get whoppy-doodled. A square gets off, stretched or cut wrong for some reason. It's a little off. Then for whatever reason, if you need to adjust, you can adjust. You can leave a gap so you're whip stitching loosely where the gap stays there if you need to lengthen something, and then make sure you reinforce it from the back side, and that reinforcement plus the sashing on the front side keeps that seam strong. Like I said, this particular quilt is going to be a lap quilt size, and it could be used, but primarily I want it for a throw over my couch for decorative home decor purpose. Like I said, it can be used. That would be okay, but I don't envision it being used much, so. Also, we could make wall hanging quilts out of these. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Who knows? I may end up doing that. I have a big wall I don't have nothing on yet behind my couch, It needs a substantial piece to hang there because it's a tall ceiling. I think it's a 10-foot ceiling, and it's a blank wall behind my couch right now because I haven't ever found anything I really, really, really wanted there. And so something like this might end up as a wall hanging. This landscape quilt. I also have a big round claw-footed wooden coffee table that a quilt topper would be beautiful on that too. So I'm going to use mine as lap quilts and home decor. The scrappy one is specifically a lap quilt for my husband. That's its use. It's his quilt. And these other two are for me, and I'm going to use them in my home. So however you decide to use yours is okay, and your size you want to end up with will depend on what you're thinking about using it. I know that one person has said they're going to make a long table runner. I don't remember out of which pattern, but that would be pretty too. Another one is going to make a long runner for the end of her bed as a decorative element. So that would be pretty, and I'm not sure which pattern she's going to use for that. But just some ideas. One lady told me that she wanted to make a scrappy one and cut it up and make a hat out of it. Doesn't that sound cool? So if you have a particular thing you want to do with yours, go for it. There's no law that says you have to use a quilt like a quilt. At least not in my book, there isn't. we got no laws around here, remember? Let me get another piece here. Another thing I want to show you in a minute is I wanted to do something at the, well, I can't get that one in the hole here. Wait a minute. Concentrate. No. Y'all aren't holding your mouth right out there, or this would go in. That's what my grandmothers used to say. Just not holding your mouth straight. Wherever that came from, I don't know, but that was her saying. Okay. Let's see. We'll look at that in a minute as soon as I can finish this. Okay, I'm going to turn it the other direction so I can work right to left. Anyway, I wanted to get some design idea that would cover the intersections of the sashing. And so I'll show you what I've come up with, and you can give me your opinion. Again, think about you're doing quilt surgery here. We're putting sutures in. Okay. We want our scar here line to be nice and smooth and even. We don't want it puckered up. Think of yourself as a quilt surgeon. For all you slow stitchers out here, this is the ultimate slow stitch process. Wonderful project for slow stitching. Our vision stitching, you definitely have a vision in mind. You know where you're going, you have a destination. And but you can slow stitch as you go if you're comfortable enough to just kind of zone out and meditate and just be very mindful of relaxing and enjoying what you're doing. Be joyful in the fact that you can be creative. Not everyone has the opportunity. Okay, we're coming on down. If I decide as I go along that I'm going to make this a wall hanging instead of a functional lap quilt, I will probably change my dimensions for it to be wider than it is long. That means I might go 8 squares long or leave it 6, depending on what size that I see I need at the time. But anyway, it'd be more of a just a minute now, think of the word. Not a square, not a rectangle. More of a rectangle than horizontally, so that it would hang on over my couch well. Okay, I got that at ooch off center. Best laid plans don't always come out right. But it's not so much that it's going to make a difference when I come in with the next piece. I'll just have a little gap that I will reinforce. No big deal. Don't sweat it. There is no perfection around this place. Icky Chic Designs is known for imperfection. Isn't that a terrible reputation? But I like it. Okay. Yep, I got it off. It's, where is it? It's right here and right here. It's just an ooch off, but still off just a little. Okay, that means when I put the next piece, well, this one won't have a piece, but I will splice in a piece, just a little piece of batting to even that up. Over here, I can adjust it as I go. Over here, when I put the second layer of batting, I will cut it so it squares out. Okay, or however it needs to be, I will adjust it there. Okay, but these came together really well. Not that that really matters with the idea that I've got in my head that I might do here. Okay. This is our piece for right here, and we're going to bring it up, center it over that line, and center that down the center. Pin that in. And as you can see on these, I just use the little overcast stitch. That's all I will do here too. Okay, how do we want to do this? Let's get him centered and centered. Looking good. Little bit wider here than in here. That doesn't matter. Again, this is a scrappy landscape quilt. Always remember, when you're with me, you're doing scrappy. Okay, those two are ready to... Did I get that centered? No, I got it tilted a little bit. Let's bring that up a little bit. That looks good. And that looks good. Now, I will sew these down. But I have this section right in here, and I'm thinking, what am I going to do with that? And I thought, it's a landscape quilt. Let's make a little mini landscape. So I did. It's a 2x2. Actually, I think mine's an inch smaller than a 2. Yep. It's about 1/8 of an inch smaller than a 2-inch. For some reason, that's the template square I was using. Where is that little thing? Oh. Well, there he is. I thought he was a 2x2, but he was just a little ooch. So my little batting sizes came out smaller. Okay, made one out of scarf material there, and I made one out of the cottons, and I'm thinking it's the cottons that I'm going to use because they just blend better. Okay, this might go on our circles quilt. I don't know yet what I'm going to do there, but anyway, that I'm going to put a mini landscape. I've got 4 little layers. That's what I'm going to try to stay with, 4 layers. And I'm going to center it over my intersection and sew it down. And I think that'll be a cute little addition to the quilt. What do you think? Give me your opinion in the comments. Okay, but we ain't ready for you yet. We need to sew this down. Where's my thread? What color do I want? I think I'll use the mauve. Oh, you know what? I haven't finished that. So, and that is in mauve, so I'll finish it out and then go up there and do that. get all these threads done again. I swear I'm not wrapping any more thread on these little holders because they just get too kinked up. Besides that, it takes forever and a day to do that when you got a whole bunch of stuff. Like, I got a whole bag here that I've got, and I thought that would take me a week to wrap all that up. I'm just not going to do it. Nope, nope, nope. I heard you, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not. Alrighty. Now I'm going to do this sewing off camera. Oh, I don't want to bore you to death with hours of stitch, 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 stitch. And I'm going to finish this little overcast stitch here. Come back and do the same thing on these. And then when I get ready to put this on, I'll stitch that with you, okay? All right. Till then. Oh, let's stay scrap happy.